Welcome to a deep dive into something truly fascinating: how to genuinely understand people.
Mhm.
You know, we all have that friend who just gets people, seems like they can read minds.
Right.
Well, today we're looking at how that kind of insight might actually be a learnable skill, not, some kind of superpower.
Exactly. And our main source for this exploration is Patrick King's book, Read People Like a Book.
Okay.
We're going to distill some key ideas from it, um, basically offering you a path to better decipher human behavior, emotions, intentions. It could really transform how you interact with people.
Yeah, I can see that. So, our mission today is to unpack the science, maybe the art too, behind this people reading ability, help you cut through the noise, maybe spot some surprising
And
things.
gain a deeper understanding.
Right, whether you're prepping for a big meeting or just curious about, well, us, humans.
Yeah.
It's funny, so many of us think, oh, I'm pretty good with people,
Yeah, that's common.
but often we're maybe not quite nailing it. We make these snap judgments.
hmm And fall right into traps like confirmation bias.
Explain that a bit.
Well, it's where you tend to remember all the times your guess about someone was right,
Right.
and you conveniently forget all the times you were completely wrong,
Ah, okay. Selective memory.
pretty much. And what's really crucial to grasp here is that every single person is essentially a black box to us.
A black box. How so?
We can't directly know what's going on inside their head. We have to build what psychologists call a theory of mind.
Okay.
It's basically a working model based entirely on external stuff, their words, their body language, what they do.
So it's a guess.
It's an educated guess,
Mhm.
but it's still just a model, a simplification. It has limits. Our goal is really to make the best possible guesses by gathering, high quality data.
And that's where it gets tricky, isn't it? Because our own stuff gets in the way.
Absolutely. Our biases, our fears, assumptions we don't even know we have.
Yeah.
They can seriously cloud our judgment.
So if you don't know your own baggage,
Exactly. If you're unaware of how you're projecting your own issues onto others, your analysis of them isn't going to be very accurate, is it?
makes sense. So
Yeah.
how do we get more objective?
Well, first off, a single observation. It means almost nothing in isolation.
Like the whole looking up and to the left thing.
Precisely. It's practically meaningless on its own. Context is absolutely everything. And cultural differences, hugely important.
So look for bigger patterns.
Broader trends, yeah. And clusters of behavior.
Mhm.
Multiple signals pointing in the same direction. That's where you start to build reliability.
Okay, this next idea, this really clicked for me. Establishing a baseline.
Oh, absolutely fundamental.
You can't tell if someone's acting weirdly nervous if you don't know what their normal state is like.
Exactly. Think about that job interview example. The candidate seems really on edge.
Yeah.
Is it because they're intimidated by you? Or is that just how they are in any interview?
Right.
If you knew, say, how they acted during presentations back in university, that gives you a baseline, a comparison point.
That's really useful.
And, studies back this up. Like the work with Simon Baron-Cohen's social intelligence tests. They show most people really aren't as good at reading emotions as they think.
Oh, what do they show?
The average score is often something like 26 out of 36.
Okay.
So that means you could easily be misinterpreting, 10 out of 36 facial expressions you see?
Wow. Okay.
Just highlights the need to, move beyond gut feelings and actually work on these skills.
And speaking of signals, I was honestly blown away by this statistic. Only about 7% of communication is the actual words we use.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, 55% is body language. It's like our bodies are just broadcasting constantly.
They really are. And this is where micro expressions come in. Paul Ekman's work on this is groundbreaking.
Micro expressions,
Yeah.
those super fast ones.
Exactly. Fleeting facial expressions, sometimes as quick as like 1/30th of a second.
Wow.
They're physiological reactions.
Yeah.
Very, very hard to fake convincingly. And they can betray emotions someone's trying to hide.
So what kind of emotions?
Ekman identified 6 universals. Happiness, sadness, disgust, anger, fear, surprise. Each has these tiny, distinct movements associated with it.
So you can actually learn to spot these
Yeah.
these little leaks of real feeling.
You can, yeah. But, and this is important, it's not foolproof. It's not a lie detector.
Right.
A little twitch might just be nervousness or general stress. It doesn't automatically mean deception.
Okay.
Someone like Joe Navarro, the ex-FBI guy, he emphasizes that our limbic brain, the emotional reactive part, drives these involuntary responses. They're often quite honest signals.
Honest signals from the primal brain.
Sort of, yeah. Connecting this to the bigger picture, body language often reveals those fundamental responses. Fight, flight, or freeze.
Ah, okay.
Think about what are called pacifying behaviors.
Pacifying, like calming down.
Exactly. Things like unconsciously touching your neck or your forehead, maybe puffing out your cheeks slightly. These are ways we try to self-soothe when we feel stressed or uncomfortable. Tiny little signals.
So it really is about the whole picture then, not just one thing.
Absolutely. Are their arms and legs open
Yeah.
or closed off? Are they expanding, taking up space, or contracting?
Right, like someone crossing their arms.
Could just be cold.
Yeah.
But if they're crossing their arms and leaning back, and they have a furrowed brow,
Mm-hmm.
now you're seeing a message cluster.
A cluster suggesting discomfort, disagreement.
Likely, yeah. There's multiple signals pointing the same way.
Okay, this is fascinating. Can you actually hear body language?
That's a great question.
Hmm.
And research by WimPal suggests yes, in a way.
How?
Subtle shifts in voice pitch and volume actually correlate with hand gestures, even if you can't see them.
No way.
Yeah. You can often tell if someone's genuinely smiling over the phone, for instance. Their whole body, including facial muscles, gets involved in producing that sound.
That's amazing. Okay, so the takeaways here are establish that baseline.
Crucial.
Look for things that are unusual or don't match up, like saying I'm fine while, wringing your hands.
Incongruence, yeah.
Gather lots of data points before jumping to conclusions. And, oh yeah, mirroring.
Ah, yes, mirroring.
Mm.
We tend to subconsciously mimic the posture and gestures of people we like or feel connected to.
And if they're not mirroring you?
It can be a signal of distance or unfriendliness.
Mm-hmm.
Not always, but it's something to note in the cluster.
Okay, so we're observing signals, but the why behind it all,
Yeah.
that's the deeper level, right? Motivations.
Exactly. To truly understand someone, you have to dig into what drives them.
Where do we start with that?
Well, one powerful concept comes from Carl Jung. The shadow.
The shadow. Sounds ominous.
Hey, it can be. It refers to the parts of ourselves we disown, traits, emotions we suppress because we think they're unacceptable.
Like what? Give me an example.
Think of someone who was maybe overly disciplined as a child, totally repressed, who then goes wild later in life. That could be the shadow breaking through.
Okay.
Or someone who secretly feels intellectually inadequate but constantly calls everyone else stupid.
Projecting their own insecurity.
That's often shadow projection, yes. Understanding this isn't about judging, though.
Yeah.
It's really about fostering compassion, seeing the hidden struggles in others and ourselves.
And what about sometimes you feel like you're dealing with a grown adult, but they're acting like a kid?
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
The inner child. That's another really useful psychological concept.
So it's not just a saying.
No, it represents the part of us holding our unprocessed emotions, our past experiences, our core needs from childhood.
So when a colleague is like pouting because they didn't get their way.
That might be their inner child reacting to feeling overlooked or invalidated. It's often an emotional response from that younger, more vulnerable part, not necessarily their adult logic speaking.
Realizing that could change how you react, couldn't it? Less frustration, maybe more empathy.
Precisely. You respond to the adult part, acknowledging the child part's feeling without getting pulled into its dynamic.
Okay, what else drives us?
Well, perhaps the most fundamental motivator is the pleasure principle.
Seek pleasure, avoid pain. The basics.
Exactly. It's primal, often unfiltered. Think about a smoker. They know the long-term health risks the pain.
Right.
But that immediate craving, the pleasure of the cigarette right now, often outweighs the distant pain.
So immediate gratification wins.
Often, yes. And here's a key insight. Our perception of pleasure and pain is frequently more powerful than the objective reality.
How so?
Like maybe avoiding trying a new food, say those jalapeno chapulines, the grasshoppers.
Okay, maybe not my first choice.
Yeah, right. But objectively, they might be delicious and nutritious. But the idea, the perception of eating an insect triggers an immediate aversion, perceived pain that overrides potential pleasure.
That's powerful. So thinking about interactions,
Mm.
this means we can frame things differently.
Absolutely. You can reframe requests to highlight immediate pleasure or avoid immediate pain.
Like getting a kid to clean their room.
Instead of just, it's a chore, pain, you turn it into a game, pleasure, or link it directly to screen time afterwards, immediate reward.
Got it. What's next in motivations?
Maslow's hierarchy of needs gives us a great roadmap.
Yeah, the pyramid. Physiological needs, safety, belonging.
Right, all the way up to self-actualization. People's primary motivations shift depending on which level of need is most pressing for them at that moment.
So you wouldn't talk about high-level goals with someone struggling for basics.
Exactly. Think of a counselor at a women's shelter. They wouldn't immediately start discussing, say, forgiving abusers with a woman who just fled a violent situation.
No, her needs are safety, shelter.
Precisely. Her focus is squarely on those foundational levels of the hierarchy. Understanding that is key to effective communication.
And finally, the ego. That's a big one.
Huge. Our ego's instinct to protect itself is an incredibly powerful and often unconscious motivator.
Nobody likes to be wrong or fail or
Yep.
feel stupid.
Exactly. So we often we lie to ourselves, really, through what psychology calls defense mechanisms. They help us avoid discomfort.
Okay, let's unpack a few key ones. What are the common defense mechanisms we might see?
Well, three really common and revealing ones are denial, rationalization, and projection.
Okay, denial first.
Denial is simply refusing to accept reality or fact. Claiming something negative is false, even when the evidence is right there.
Like ignoring terrible performance reviews.
That's not true. The computer must be wrong. That kind of immediate dismissal of uncomfortable facts. Recognizing it means seeing the ego protecting itself from pain.
Right. What about rationalization?
That's explaining away negative stuff with excuses that sound logical but are really self-serving. The classic example is Aesop's sour grapes fable.
The fox who can't reach the grapes.
Says they were probably sour anyway. He rationalizes his failure to make himself feel better.
Okay. And projection. We touched on that with the shadow.
Yes, it's taking your own unacceptable traits, feelings, or impulses and attributing them to someone else.
Like the cheating husband who constantly accuses his wife.
Exactly. He's projecting his own guilt and behavior onto her. It's an unconscious way to deflect his own uncomfortable truth.
Wow. Remembering that example of Fred, who refused to believe his pop star idol was guilty despite all the evidence.
His ego was desperately protecting his identity, right?
Yeah.
His sense of self was tied up with that idol.
Seeing these strategies in action, that gives
Yeah.
you incredible insight into what's really going on underneath.
It really does.
So beyond these deep drives, what about more stable patterns? Personality. That gives context too, right?
Absolutely. Understanding someone's persistent personality patterns adds another crucial layer. The Big Five model is incredibly useful here.
Ocean, right. Openness.
Openness to experience, yeah. How willing you are to try new things, take risks. Think Steve Jobs taking calligraphy high openness.
Peace is conscientiousness.
Right. How careful, organized, goal-oriented you are. It's strongly linked to things like job performance, even living longer.
E, extroversion.
How outgoing and social you are, where you draw energy from crowds or solitude.
A, agreeableness.
How kind, cooperative, sympathetic you tend to be, generally empathetic,
And N, neuroticism.
which is basically emotional stability versus being prone to anxiety, worry, being more high-strung. Interestingly, a bit of neuroticism, that worry, can sometimes keep you healthier.
Ah, okay. So how does knowing this help in, like, a real situation?
It helps you interpret reactions more accurately. Let's say you have a business partner, and you know they score low on agreeableness. They tend to be critical.
Okay.
So you pitch a controversial idea, and they frown, cross their arms.
My first thought is, they hate it. They hate me.
Right. But knowing their personality baseline, you might realize, okay, this isn't necessarily a rejection of my idea. This is just their default way of processing something new or challenging. It's business as usual for them.
That lets you depersonalize it, respond more calmly.
Exactly. Takes the sting out of it. Another really interesting framework is the Enneagram.
The Enneagram. That's the one with the 9 types.
That's the one. It focuses less on just traits and more on the underlying how and why of behavior, the core motivations and fears of each type. It's often used for self-awareness and growth.
Can you give a couple of examples?
Sure. You have Type 1, the reformer, driven by a need to be good and right. Type 2, the helper, needs to be loved and needed. Type 8, the challenger, needs to be in control and protect themselves. Each has core fears and desires.
So it digs into the motivation behind the pattern.
Precisely. While other systems like Myers-Briggs or Kiersey's temperaments offer valuable perspectives too, the Enneagram really tries to get at those deeper drivers.
So again, these aren't boxes to put people in.
Definitely not definitive labels. They're models, tools.
But useful tools. Like if you suspect someone leans towards being a helper type,
You might appeal to their desire to assist or complement their kindness.
and if they seem more like a challenger,
Maybe frame things in terms of strength, control, or directness. It helps you tailor your approach.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit.
Mm.
Let's be honest, a big part of understanding people is, well, figuring out when they might not be telling the truth.
Deception detection. Yeah, it's a tricky area.
And most of us aren't great at it.
Studies consistently show that, yes, even trained professionals often perform only slightly better than chance.
Why is it so hard?
The core problem is uncertainty. There's no single guaranteed Pinocchio's nose, no foolproof tell.
Right.
Plus, liars often know the common things to avoid, like fidgeting or avoiding eye contact. Some are so practiced they might even start to believe their own stories.
So when does accuracy improve?
It tends to go up when you have a good baseline of their normal behavior, when the lie is spontaneous rather than rehearsed, and crucially, when there are real stakes, real consequences if they get caught.
Okay, so if there's no magic sign, how do we approach it?
It's less about passively spotting static signs and much more about actively managing the conversation strategically.
Managing the conversation. How?
Use open-ended questions.
Okay.
Get them talking freely, and this is key, withhold what you already know. Don't tip your hand.
Let them lay out their story first.
Let them lay out their story, potentially including conflicting facts or inconsistencies, without you correcting them immediately.
Interesting. What else differentiates liars and truth tellers in conversation?
Liars often give very complete, highly detailed accounts right off the bat, almost like a script.
Okay.
But they tend to struggle with unexpected follow-up questions about those details. They might pause longer, hesitate, maybe fill gaps with overly elaborate nonsense.
Or as a truth teller?
Is usually comfortable elaborating,
Yeah.
or they'll simply say, I don't remember that specific detail. It sounds more natural, less rehearsed.
Okay, here's something mentioned, the element of surprise.
Yes, catching someone off guard can be very revealing.
How does that work?
Ask a simple yes-no question related to the potential deception. If you get back a really evasive, long-winded, overly detailed answer instead of a simple yes or no,
That's a red flag.
it's often a classic sign they're buying time, trying to fabricate a plausible response on the fly.
Yeah.
They might even get angry or defensive.
Ah, anger as a mask for panic.
It can be, yes. Another powerful technique is increasing their cognitive load.
Cognitive load, making them think harder.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Telling a convincing lie, especially a complex one, is mentally much harder than just recalling the truth.
So how do you increase it?
You could subtly introduce something you know is untrue into the conversation and see how they react. Do they incorporate it? Correct you? Get flustered? Or ask them to recount a story you know is true first. That gives you a baseline for their truthful narrative style, how they structure things, their pace, their level of detail.
And when that cognitive load goes up?
That's when you might see more nonverbal leakage. Even if their words stay calm, emotions can surface more noticeably.
Like what? What kind of signs?
Increased blinking, maybe pupil dilation, subtle speech disturbances, more ums and ahs, slight changes in vocal tone or pitch. The more complex the lie, the harder it is to suppress these.
So it's not about being a human lie detector.
Not at all. It's about being a strategic conversationalist, designing the interaction to make inconsistencies surface naturally.
Focusing on their story and how they tell it.
Exactly. And what's really interesting is you'll often see a disconnect, maybe emotional detachment in their words, but clear emotional leakage in their body language or voice.
Okay, sometimes, though, you don't have time for a long strategic conversation. You've got minutes, maybe seconds to get a read on someone.
Right. That's where the idea of thin slicing comes in.
Thin slicing,
Mm-hmm.
making judgments from tiny bits of information.
Exactly. And research shows these rapid judgments can be surprisingly accurate.
Really? More accurate than thinking it through.
Sometimes, yes. John Gottman, the relationship researcher, is famous for this. He could apparently predict with about 95% accuracy whether couples would stay together just by observing them interact briefly.
Wow. So intuition is powerful.
It can be. But the key is to balance that intuition with conscious analysis later.
How do you...
Let's say you get a bad feeling during a job interview. Don't just ignore it,
Okay.
but also don't act on it immediately. Make a note. Then later, deliberately look for concrete, factual observations that might support or contradict that gut feeling. Use both systems.
Got it. So beyond those immediate impressions, what other slices of life can give us clues?
Oh, lots of things. Think about
Okay.
the words people use. Frequent swearing, for example, can correlate with persuasiveness, surprisingly. Lots of I pronouns might suggest extroversion.
What about jargon?
Unnecessary jargon, yeah. Sometimes signals a desire to seem smart, rather than actual deep knowledge.
Okay, what else? Photographs.
Definitely. Look for the Duchenne smile,
Mm.
the genuine one that crinkles the eyes. Studies link that genuine smile in photos to reports of happier, healthier lives years down the line, much more than a forced, Pan Am smile.
Interesting. Physical appearance. Clothing.
Huge identity claims there. Clothing choices tell a story. Someone wearing expensive jewelry to, say, a construction site tells you something about their values, maybe their self-concept.
Or lack of care.
Could signal low self-esteem, yeah. Uniforms. Badges, those explicitly state a role or self-concept.
What about their home, their space?
A person's home is often seen as an extension of their identity. If it's warm, welcoming, meticulously neat, filled with specific hobbies or collections.
It's like you can guess politics from bedrooms.
That was Sam Gosling's research, yeah. Suggesting tendencies like conservatives perhaps having more orderly spaces, flags, cleaning supplies visible, liberals maybe more books, art supplies, more color, obviously generalizations, but interesting indicators.
And online behavior. Our digital selves.
Reveals a lot. Email timestamps can hint at chronotypes, night owls versus early birds. Social media profiles, counterintuitively, often reflect people's actual selves more than highly idealized versions.
Even profile pics.
Yeah, the type of smile, the colors used, how they pose subtle hints towards big five traits.
Even a handshake. You mentioned that can be a thin slice.
Absolutely. A very quick interaction packed with potential information. A limp handshake might signal lower confidence or self-esteem.
And the power grip.
Someone trying to angle their palm downwards is often asserting dominance, yeah. Extroversion, interestingly, seems particularly easy to gauge from a handshake.
Okay, one more technique. Indirect questions.
Ah, yes. A great way to get past rehearsed answers and reveal underlying values,
So instead of what makes you happy?
which is broad and invites cliches.
Yeah.
Try something like, what parts of your week do you genuinely look forward to the most? If there was a prize you could win, what kind of prize would motivate you to work your absolute hardest?
So their specific answers reveal what they truly value.
Exactly. Their answers give you concrete information about their motivations, priorities, what really drives them. It invites a more authentic self-revelation than direct, easily anticipated questions.
Wow. What an incredibly insightful deep dive. We've covered so much ground from understanding our own biases
Crucial starting point.
to decoding microexpressions, spotting those defense mechanisms, thinking about personality frameworks like the Big Five or Enneagram.
And using strategic conversation, even thin slicing.
Right, and there's powerful indirect questions, so many lenses to view people through.
And it's really important to stress this ability isn't about trying to manipulate people or play some kind of gotcha game.
No, definitely no.
If you connect it to the bigger picture, it's fundamentally about enriching your relationships, improving communication.
Setting better boundaries, maybe?
Absolutely. And maybe most profoundly, understanding yourself better in the process. It really transforms every interaction into a chance for deeper insight.
So what does this all mean for you listening right now? I guess the takeaway is next time you meet someone new or even interact with someone you know well,
Pause before judging.
yeah, lean into curiosity instead of assumption, observe those subtle clues, ask better questions.
And just remember, every single person is this complex, evolving story.
Your challenge then is to become a more astute, more compassionate, and more emotionally intelligent reader of that story.
And maybe here's a final thought to ponder. Thinking about someone you find challenging, how might understanding their unconscious drives their hidden motivations, maybe their ego's defenses that we talked about, how might that reshape your approach the next time you need to have a difficult conversation with them?